Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into a world that I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with, the world of dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's hard not to be fascinated by them, right?
For sure. And to make this even cooler, we're going to be looking at some materials that don't always get the spotlight. I'm talking about fossils beyond just those big dinosaur bones. Think ancient plants, maybe an insect or two trapped in amber.
Oh yeah, those tiny glimpses into the past can tell us so much.
Right. And the sources we're using today really capture this contrast. On the one hand, we have these detailed chapter outlines from Dino Detectives uncovering the mysteries of paleontology, which sounds pretty
It
serious.
is a comprehensive book, that's for sure.
And then we also have this catalog from Big Brother Publishing. It lists all sorts of children's books about ancient life and fossils, kind of like, Eco Kids Veggie and Fruitionary from AZ.
That one sounds fun, actually. Plant fossils don't always get the attention they deserve.
I know, right? Okay, so our mission today is threefold, I think. First, we're going to unearth some of the coolest dinosaur facts from that Dino Detectives outline. Second, we'll explore how those dinosaurs connect to, birds today.
Oh, that's a fascinating connection.
And then lastly, we're going to broaden our scope and see what other kinds of fossils can teach us about ancient life, using that Big Brother publishing list for inspiration. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
Awesome. Now, right off the bat, the intro to Dino Detectives asks this question. What if birds are more dinosaur than we realize? And honestly, that question just hooked me.
It's a good one. And it gets to the heart of some pretty big discoveries in paleontology.
Okay, so to start, the book outlines the Mesozoic era. That's like dinosaur prime time, right?
Exactly. It's that long stretch of time, millions and millions of years, when dinosaurs ruled the Earth. And to really understand it, it's broken down into three periods: Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just one big dinosaur party for like 100 million years.
No, no. Each period had its own dominant types of dinosaurs, its own unique ecosystems.
Gotcha. So, what was the Triassic like then? What kind of dinosaurs were hanging out then?
Well, the Triassic is where we see the earliest dinosaurs,
Yeah.
like, for instance, the Herrerasaurus. It's a bipedal predator, kind of like, a blueprint for the more famous meat eaters that came later.
Oh,
Then comes the Jurassic. Now, that's when you get those giants, the ones everyone thinks of. Brachiosaurus, Stegosaurus.
the heavy hitters.
Right. These were mostly herbivores, plant eaters, and their evolution was closely tied to the changes in plant life during that time.
So it's like the dinosaurs were evolving alongside their environment.
Precisely. That's a key takeaway here.
Gotcha. So Jurassic big plant eaters. What about the Cretaceous?
Ah, the Cretaceous. That was the last hurrah for the dinosaurs.
Mm.
This is where you get Tyrannosaurus rex, Triceratops. It's iconic.
Yeah, those are the big names everyone knows.
Right. But it's also fascinating because during the Cretaceous, we start seeing more of that dinosaur-bird connection.
You mean that question about birds actually being dinosaurs?
Exactly. The outline mentions this site called the Solnhofen limestone in Germany, which is famous for its exceptionally well-preserved fossils.
Hmm.
And one of those fossils is, well, it's kind of a rock star, Archaeopteryx.
Oh yeah, Archaeopteryx. Isn't that the like missing link between dinosaurs and birds?
That's the one. It had feathers, wings like a bird, but also teeth and a bony tail like a dinosaur. It's like evolution caught in the act, showing us how some dinosaurs were already on the path to becoming birds.
Wow, okay. That is pretty amazing. Makes you think.
It does.
So, now I'm really curious about those dinosaur traits. The Dino Detectives outline has a whole chapter on dinosaur behavior and habits. What kind of clues have paleontologists found about how they actually lived?
Well, one thing's for sure, dinosaurs weren't all just these solitary, slow-moving creatures. There's more and more evidence that a lot of them were very social, lived in herds, even cared for their young.
Like that Maiasauri you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. Fossilized nests found in Montana show us that these duck-billed dinosaurs took care of their young in ways they're very similar to, well, birds today. Baby Maiasaurus stayed in the nest for a while. They were fed by their parents. They may have even played together, just like baby birds.
So we're talking about dinosaur parenting millions of years ago. That's so wild.
It is. And it's not just Maiasaura. The Gobi Desert, which is a treasure trove of late Cretaceous fossils, has given us evidence of other complex dinosaur behaviors, too. Fossilized dinosaur eggs found in Mongolia, for example, suggest that species like Velociraptor, nested and cared for their young, too.
Wait, velociraptors, those fierce hunters from Jurassic Park, they cared for their young.
It might seem surprising, but yes. Paleontologists have even found fossilized tracks of adult and juvenile dinosaurs, like moving together, which suggests family groups or maybe even herds.
Wow, okay, so dinosaurs are already more complex than I thought. But what about those flying dinosaurs and sea dinosaurs mentioned in the book outline? Weren't they ruling the skies and the oceans too?
Well, we got to be careful with the terminology there.
Hmm.
The flying reptiles, the ones we call pterodactyls, they weren't actually dinosaurs. They were closely related, for sure, but they were on a different branch of that reptile family tree.
Okay, so not all ancient reptiles were dinosaurs. Easy to get mixed up, though.
It is, and it's the same with the sea dinosaurs. Creatures like plesiosaurs and ichthyosaurs, they were marine reptiles adapted to life in the water, but not dinosaurs.
So while the dinosaurs ruled the land, other cool reptiles were evolving in the air and the sea.
Exactly. And, it's not just bones that tell us about the past. Remember that list from Big Brother Publishing? Those Eco Kids books? One of them caught my eye. The Eco Kids Veggie and Fruitionary from AZ. It's all about fossilized plants.
Oh, right. I totally forgot about that one. Plant fossils. Who knew? I always think dinosaurs when I hear fossils.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But plant fossils are just as important for understanding those ancient ecosystems. Like, for example, we have these fossilized ferns, tree-like plants from the Carboniferous period. They tell us that Earth was once covered in these vast, swampy forests.
And those forests eventually became like the coal deposits we use today, right?
Exactly. So you see, these plant fossils, they're not just leftovers from the past. They're directly connected to our world today.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And it's not just plants either. We also have fossilized insects trapped in amber that give us amazing detail about ancient arthropods.
I've seen those in museums. Perfectly preserved insects, just like frozen in time.
In fact, looking through a window to the past, right?
Uh,
Shows us the incredible diversity of life that existed alongside those dinosaurs.
this is blowing my mind. Dinosaurs were these living, breathing creatures with like complex behaviors, and they were just one part of this whole vibrant ecosystem.
And remember that question about birds being more dinosaur than we realize? Well, we're going to get into that connection even more in a bit.
I can't wait. But first, I think we need to address the big question. What happened to the dinosaurs? Dino Detectives has a whole chapter on that, on the extinction event.
Yeah, that's a big one. And it's where we'll pick up in the next part of our deep dive.
All right, so let's tackle this big question.
Yeah.
What happened to the dinosaurs? The Dino Detectives outline has a whole chapter about the extinction event, so I'm guessing there's a lot to unpack there.
There is. It's
Mhm.
it's one of the most significant events in Earth's history.
Yeah.
It marks the end of the Mesozoic era, the end of dinosaurs' reign. And for a long time, scientists really debated what caused it. But now we have a pretty good idea.
I'm going to guess the asteroid impact, right? That's what I remember learning about.
You got it. The Chicxulub crater in Mexico, that's the evidence. It's massive. And it dates back to the end of the Cretaceous period,
Right.
right when the dinosaurs disappeared.
Wow, an asteroid impact? I can't even imagine how devastating that must have been.
It would have been catastrophic. Earthquakes, tsunamis, wildfires all over the planet, and then all the dust and debris thrown into the atmosphere.
Oh, right, blocking out the sun, creating that, what do they call it? A nuclear winter effect?
Exactly. The impact basically plunged the Earth into darkness, causing temperatures to plummet, completely disrupting entire ecosystems. It's no wonder so many species, including the non-avian dinosaurs, couldn't survive.
It's kind of a grim picture, honestly. But life on Earth didn't totally disappear, right?
Oh, absolutely not. And that's where things get really interesting. The extinction was devastating, for sure, but it also created opportunities for new species to evolve and diversify.
So it's like a reset button, kind of, for life on Earth.
In a way, yeah. The species that could adapt to these new, harsh conditions, they were the ones that survived and thrived. Smaller mammals, some reptiles, and, well, you guessed it, birds.
Birds. So we're back to that question from the Dino Detectives intro. What if birds are more dinosaur than we realize?
It all starts to make sense, right? Remember Archaeopteryx, that fossil we talked about? It had feathers and wings like a bird, but also teeth and a tail like a dinosaur.
Right, like a snapshot of evolution in action.
Exactly. Well, Archaeopteryx, it belonged to a group of dinosaurs called theropods. And guess what? Theropods are the ancestors of modern birds.
Wait, are you saying that when I see a robin in my backyard, I'm looking at a dinosaur
You
descendant?
got it. Over millions of years, theropod dinosaurs gradually evolved into the birds we see today. They lost their teeth, their tails got shorter, and their feathers became more specialized for flight.
That's crazy. So that chapter in the outline, Dinosaurs Today, it's about actual birds, not just fossils.
It's about the living legacy of dinosaurs. Birds inherited so many traits from their theropod ancestors. Even the wishbone, that bone we break for good luck, that's found in both theropods and birds.
Wow. Never gonna look at a chicken the same way again.
Changes your perspective, right? It really makes you appreciate the power of evolution.
It does. It's amazing how life can adapt and change over millions of years, but it also makes me wonder if dinosaurs could go extinct after, millions of years at the top, what does that mean for us?
That's a deep question, and it's one that paleontologists and scientists are thinking about a lot today. The extinction of the dinosaurs, it reminds us that even the most successful species can be vulnerable to change, especially these big catastrophic events.
And we're facing some pretty big challenges right now, climate change, habitat loss.
We are. But understanding past extinction events, like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs, it can give us some clues about how ecosystems respond to stress and how life recovers. It can also help us understand, what might happen because of our actions and maybe help us protect biodiversity.
So learning about the past can help us make better decisions for the future.
Exactly. By studying the fossil record, we can piece together the history of life on Earth, how different species interacted, how ecosystems responded to change. That knowledge is super valuable as we face the challenges of, the 21st century.
It's incredible to think that something like a fossil can tell us so much about the past and even give us guidance for the future.
It really shows how important paleontology is, the work that scientists are doing to uncover, the secrets of Earth's history.
Before we wrap up, I want to mention something else. The Big Brother publishing catalog, the one with the Eco Kids books, it also lists some titles about ancient cultures like Egypt.
Oh, that's a great point. It reminds us that studying the past isn't just about, dinosaurs and fossils. Archaeology, that's the study of human history through material remains. It's another fascinating field. It can show us how past civilizations lived, how they interacted, how they adapted to their environments.
It's all connected, isn't it? The past, the present, the future.
It really is. Yeah. And by studying the past in all its forms, I think we gain a deeper understanding of ourselves, of where we fit in the grand scheme of things.
Well said. Okay, before we go, let's recap what we've learned today. We started with the Mesozoic era, that incredible time when all these different dinosaurs ruled the Earth for millions of years.
We learned that dinosaurs weren't just these big lumbering reptiles. They were complex creatures with social behaviors, parental care, and this amazing connection to birds.
We then talked about the extinction event, the one that wiped out the dinosaurs, but also how life on Earth bounced back, leading to, well, the birds we see all around us today.
And we learned that studying the past, whether it's through paleontology or archaeology, it can give us valuable insights into the present and guide us towards a better future.
It's amazing how we went from giant dinosaurs to tiny fossilized insects in this deep dive, and even thinking about our own future.
It really shows you how everything's connected, right?
Yeah.
The past, it informs the present, and understanding both, well, it can help us create a better future.
And, thinking about that Dino Detectives book, the one aimed at kids, it makes me wonder if maybe someone listening right now, maybe this deep dive will spark, a lifelong passion for them.
You never know. It's never too late to get fascinated by the past. Maybe someone out there will become a paleontologist, discovering new fossils, changing what we know about ancient life.
Speaking of changing what we know, that chapter in the outline, The Future of Paleontology, that really caught my eye. What are you most excited about in the field, where things are headed?
Well, the technologies, that's what's really revolutionary, like CT scanning. It lets us look inside fossils without damaging them. We can see incredible details.
Huh?
And 3D printing, we can create replicas of fossils, which is so helpful for research and teaching.
So we could hold a 3D printed dinosaur skull and see things that would have been impossible to see before.
Exactly. We can even use computer models now to simulate how dinosaurs moved, how they hunted, how they interacted with their environment. It's like bringing the past to life in a whole new way.
That's incredible. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to that question from the Dino Detectives intro. What if birds are more dinosaur than we realize.
It makes you rethink what you thought you knew, right,
Right.
about dinosaurs. And it makes you appreciate how amazing, how continuous life on Earth is. Dinosaurs, they weren't just these giant reptiles that disappeared. They're still here, in a way, in the birds all around us.
It's a powerful reminder that evolution, it never stops, and that even when there's extinction, life, it finds a way.
And I think maybe the most important takeaway from our deep dive today is, well, understanding the past to inform our present and our future.
Well said. By studying the fossil record, learning about those ancient ecosystems and extinction events, well, we understand our own place in the world a little better, don't we?
We do. And hopefully that understanding will inspire us to be better caretakers of our planet, protecting all the different life out there, making sure there's a healthy future for everyone.
That's a great point to end on. It's been an amazing journey, exploring the world of dinosaurs, fossils, all the connections in life. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure. And
Yeah.
remember, every fossil has a story to tell. Who knows what mysteries are still out there waiting to be discovered?
Right.